In our search for answers to understand the world we cannot see, we are bound to come across people who have answers to these questions. But as one of our guests says, there's no one person or authority that can give you all the answers. Tonight, we have the founders of LightSeers, a group that hopes to bridge the gap between the living and the unseen. They are also former SpiritQuestors who had trained under Tony Perez. We talk about their experience with the Questors, the formation of LightSeers, and other valuable insights for people trying to understand their sensitivity to the world we cannot see. For the audiophiles out there, apologies for the persistent buzzing sound from my audio. Hindi yun mumu. Enjoy. Okay, tonight, ang ating guests ay malamang masasama sa playlist ng SpiritQuestors kasi they are actually former Questors, and we'll learn about their story, kung paano sila napunta dito sa bagong path na ito. So, tonight we have Peachie, Ryan, and Juno, who are co-founders of LightSeers. So, good evening.
Hi, good evening sa inyo, the listeners.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, maybe you guys can talk about kahit yung part lang where from Questors you started LightSeers.
Sige, si Ryan muna since narinig niyo yung aking journey.
Ay, okay. Ayun, sorry. Bibigyan ko context yung comment ni Peachie doon. Sabi ko kay Peachie kasi, Peachie, narinig ko na yung origin story mo sa Walang Kwentang Podcast. So, lilink ko yung episode na yon para sa show notes, para sa mga nakikinig. Kasi nakwento ni Peachie story niya doon. So, right now, maririnig natin yung kwento ni Ryan tsaka ni Juno about it.
I learned about yung Questors kasi when I was in college. I think I was in third year college. Naging teacher ko si Tony Perez for an art subject. Kahit nung time na yun, he was already known sa campus, and even I think that was the time when I think 1 or 2 years old na yung SpiritQuestors. Pero I didn't join pa din. I thought it was by invitation only. So nayari na akong lumapit sa kanya. Although during our subject or during the course, nagtuturo na si Tony ng mga things about their exercises, mga ganun. Pero my journey with the SpiritQuestors started siguro put it around 4 or 5 years after. I can't remember, medyo matagal na. Pero there was an ad and they were saying they were looking for new members. I joined that. Tapos siguro I'm not sure, around 2004 siguro, parang ganun. Ayun, tapos I was a member of the SpiritQuestors until yung nag-take a rest yung group. I held 2 terms as council member. Council is like parang yun yung parang administrator is taking care of yung administration ng group. And then until the SQs took a rest as a group. Peachie and I were already together that time. We also took a rest from questing. And then 2000, when did we start the LS?
Parang 2018, meron ulit, parang 2017, 18, may mga dumadami ulit yung queries lang. Pero
Okay.
personally lang sa amin, like parang
Yes.
nagka-quest ka pa rin ba yung mga tipong ganong questions? And I think even sa side mo, Juno, no? Tapos napansin rin namin, wait lang, parang dumadami ulit yung in need, kumbaga yung troubles in terms of paranormal cases.
And then we started the LS as a way to continue lang helping people at saka to pass on rin yung traditions at saka learnings ng SQ because we felt na the need is still there. And it's been quite a while since a group like ours was seen out there. So he said, yeah, let's have at it again.
Ryan, if I can ask, I'm assuming before you joined, there were experiences on your end for you to convince yourself to join the Questors noong 2004.
Not much, not much.
Mm.
My family, mahilig kasi kami sa mga kwento,
Mm.
kwentong mumu, even when I
Okay.
was a kid.
Okay.
So we're the type of family na when we gather with relatives, part of the kwentuhan would always be about, strange stuff. But personally, two things. I had very, very few experiences. And sobrang, actually hanggang ngayon, takot kasi ako.
Mm.
I get scared really, really easily, even during quest. So it's not like I have this disability and I wanted to know more about it. It was more like, really, this is intriguing and fun. It was a very selfish, really selfish, self-indulgent reason for myself to join the group.
Mm.
Ano lang talaga, it was more of a scare trip,
Mm.
I would say.
If I can ask lang again,
Yeah.
what eventually developed within you in terms of your intuition or let's say sensitivities?
Right. I'm rarely visual. It's more intuitive yung sa akin.
Mm.
Intuition. Sometimes the other senses are also there, seeing on occasion. Pero most of the time it's really intuition. Tsaka clear.
Clairvoyant, ay clairsentient.
Yeah, the visual thing. Yeah, mine's, yeah. So yeah, more of that feeling talaga. At saka yun lang.
Sir Juno, baka naman you can share your parang journey from being a quester to also joining LightSeers.
It's just a simple story na I started out as someone who's really interested sa paranormal. So I would read a lot about it. And yun nga, na-encounter ko rin yung mga articles ni Sir Tony Perez. And once in a while rin, nung when I was researching and reading all about the paranormal, doon na rin ako na nagiging sensitive. So I would sometimes like see shadows, yung parang yung mga usual na mga kwento ng iba na yung parang nagkaka-sleep paralysis and saka yung mga shadows na lumalapit, yung mga normal na ganyan. So, and sabi rin ng father ko rin noon, parang I got that from my mother's side kasi laking probinsya daw, tapos their whole family is really sensitive, parang lineage daw namin and stuff. So I guess dun na parang hindi na rin naman siya parang wala naman against the family towards it. So parang naano rin siya na parang hinayaan lang nila ako to explore my interest. Then sabi ko after when I was about to graduate college, I saw an ad by the SpiritQuestors na they're recruiting people to join. So I tried joining, then I met rin kabatch ko si Peachie.
Okay.
Tapos after a while kasi rin, parang may mga nangyayari rin sa life ko no, na I had to stop.
Yes.
So parang I had to focus on other aspects of my life. So then after that, I got a job. Tapos after staying in that job like for almost a year, tapos may biglang pumasok na for interview and surprisingly si Peachie.
Okay.
So parang doon kami nakita na parang uy, nandiyan ka pala, anong ginagawa mo dito? Nag-a-apply. So parang nakita, ba't nag-stop ka na mag-quest? Kasi ganito, ganyan. Tapos ayun na, parang sabi na rin ni Peachie na parang balik ka, nag-practice ko ulit. So parang yun, nag-start ulit, balik ako sa SpiritQuestors. Then yun na naging regular parang participant na ako, observer, trainee, then became a questor, and the rest is there.
Nando ako.
Peachie pala may kasalanan.
Siya.
Oo. So eventually, when Peachie and Ryan decided nga na, uy, parang dumadami yung inquiries, dumadami yung humihingi ng tulong. Paano yun? Parang tinawagan ka rin lang nila or ano yung parang inciting incident?
Well, actually kasi we after when we went into a hiatus sa SpiritQuestors kasi we stayed in contact because we're close friends rin naman.
Okay.
So wala lang, parang nag-casual conversations lang paminsan sa mga GC chat na parang you feel that. Parang ang daming gustong magpatulong sa paranormal stuff. Tapos ako rin, parang sinasabi ko rin, parang kailangan ulit ng parang people to help to help educate and to help people with their issues. So parang dun nag-start nag-uusap-usap lang kami casually about it. Na we feel there's a stirring in the universe na there's another need for a group na like LightSeers.
Yes, oo. So, if I can ask also, to the three of you, saan nag-start yung name? Kasi curious rin ako sa name na ginamit niyo.
Naisip ko lang siya habang nasa isang parking lot ako.
Okay.
True story.
Okay.
So the group, we were on a couple of quests, and I remember we had one quest, and then after the quest we had dinner sa may Ortigas area. Tapos during that time we were already saying ano kayang okay na name, because we didn't want to use the SpiritQuestors name. So we were thinking, ano kaya? And we were really racking our brains how to think of something. Tapos sabi ko, teka, punta ako kotse, pupunin ko yung echo bags. Again, true story. I went to the car, it was evening, tapos may nakita akong this street lamp. Tapos yun lang, pumasok. Honestly, it just entered my head. Sabi ko, pagbalik ko dun sa restaurant, sabi ko, eto na kaya gamitin natin. Actually, wala sa akin na may gusto eh. No?
Really?
Okay.
No one really wanted it.
Hindi.
Yeah, pero sige, pero we might find something better. Kaya lang since ako pinamatanda.
Yun pala yun.
Honestly, yeah, there's nothing mystical about it. But it when it entered my mind, it just felt okay for me. And yeah, we've been using it ever since.
Mm-mm. So actually, Peachie, baka magalit sa akin yung iba if hindi ko pa kwento sa'yo. So, okay, sige. Kung gusto nyo mas mahabang version, meron yan sa Walang Kwentang podcast na kwento ni Peachie. Pero, Peachie, baka yung part lang na yung about yung journey mo from being a questor to, again, going to LightSeers. Baka you can tell us about that.
Yeah. Yun sa akin naman, yung beginnings noon, early on in life, very open. So parang sa akin, normal yung nakakita. So akala ko like in our house, parang normal lang na maraming tao, quote unquote, parang ganon. And very sensitive. Even yung mom ko, kukwentuhan niya ako nung baby daw ako until toddler. It doesn't bring me to parties anymore kasi every time, pag uwi, may lagnat ako. Hindi alam, nababate. Basta ganun yung laging story and marami silang experiences. So, high school, mas nag-heighten. Ganun ata talaga pag teenager. And nung time na rin ng college ako, and since I'm an empath, so I feel other people's feelings to a point na it becomes physical. So, nandun rin ako sa point, wait lang, nababaliw na ba ako? Pero alam ko namang hindi. And then it comes na I become depressed na you dampen yung feelings mo, you smoke weed, you drink a lot of alcohol just to not feel na parang weirded out ko with what am I feeling, what am I seeing, maybe I'm not normal, stuff like that. And then I chanced upon yung book rin ni Tony Perez, as in talagang parang stroll lang ako sa National Bookstore. And ayun, din nabasa ko. Sabi ko, oh my gosh, may book pala na ganito, may group pala na ganito. And baka this is parang my tribe, my peeps. And I went to yung training and sabi rin ni Tony, mag-train. And in-accept rin lang kasi hindi sila usually nag-accept ng minor. So I was 17 that time. Pero nandun na rin nung went to trainings, tapos quests, mas dun ko nakita na parang calling siya in a way for me na maybe, I have this, yung ganitong sensitivity and experience. So maybe I could help. So dun ko, nag-resonate sa akin yung goals and objectives ng group. So kaya, even nung nag-break up or nag-hiatus, I wanted to continue rin. Talagang on board ako sa idea na it's still a noble cause, and since pro bono rin kami, and a lot of troubled people pa rin still talk to us, and handle pa rin kami ng case. So why not in a way make it legitimate na hindi lang siya through our connections or yung mga refer, pero in a way kind of out there kasi nagsa-set up kami ng free public workshops every year. So
Okay.
it's called Psychism 101 it's a practical workshop, pero at the same time it's a safe space for people to come and ask yung mga burning questions nila and share your experiences. And dun mo talaga makikita na there is more than what we can imagine or what we've come to know dito sa natin society.
Kailan yung next public workshop nyo?
Yung inaay namin somewhere April to June. Okay. So parang March, April. So
Okay.
tinitignan lang
Sige.
namin. Yeah.
This is something I've observed with people who have sensitivities that are, let's say, more heightened. Meaning, same as you see things, you hear things, you feel them, and it's a daily thing. Ang napansin ko, merong consistent is may some sort of depression in a way.
Yeah.
Because whatever you say to other people, they do not believe you. Especially nung time, I'm assuming magkakaedad-ish tayo. Nung time natin, mas sinasyan siya. Mas hindi siya pinaniniwalaan. Yun, di ko alam kung nakikita nyo rin na may relationship ba minsan with yung heightened sensitivities to having some sort of depression. It could be a personal opinion, it doesn't have to be a professional opinion.
Yeah, I think so. It plays its part kasi kumwari hindi lang dun sa you feel kung hindi sa ostracized na parang when you talk to friends and hindi rin growing up hindi rin nila maintindihan. But sa akin was more of yung barrage of feelings that weren't mine na parang
Okay.
earliest 9 or even naalala ko nung 11 ang iniisip ko paano mag-commit ng suicide ganon as in
Okay.
I have a good childhood, maganda naman yung family ko, hindi naman traumatic or anything like that. But parang vividly remember dun, parang umuwi lang ako ng school, parang nakatitig ako sa wall, tas iniisip ko parang paano ko i-commit sarili ko sa mental institution or paano ako magpapakamatay. Ganun ka, at a very early age. And I don't know where it's coming from. And dun rin yung parang kinalungkot na why am I so sad na parang nihilistic na yung point of view ko at a very early age. Wala naman akong masyadong binabasa or not your reading school, tipong Nancy Drew Archie and yung mga light fun stuff, right? Goosebumps. But yeah, and then I saw and I sense pala na when I'm with people, bigla na lang mag-iiba yung mood ko. And it turns out I am receiving yung feelings nila, and even to the point na physical parang alam ko pag may masakit ang ulo
Masakit
sa
sa katawan.
office. Yung ganon, yung masakit bigla yung tiyan ko pero wala naman akong kinahing mali, or tapos biglang may magsasabi sa office na oh my gosh, ang sakit ng tiyan ko, mayroon ako pala na yun, stuff like that. So dun ko nakita yung pattern na kung kailan ako iba yung feeling ko, it's coming from somewhere. And of course, kung bata ka and even teenager, you don't know what it is, you don't know how to control it, and you feel trapped and you feel helpless. I guess that's the perfect word for it. So the depression comes from the depressive feelings around and yung mga anxiety ng ibang people, plus yung depressive feeling of because of helplessness. Kumbaga.
Peachie, if nararamdaman kang masakit yung paa mo, ako yun.
Then nag-shield naman ako today.
Nag-shield ka? Okay, good. If meron man dyan nakikinig ngayon, ako yun. Masakit din pa ako. Going to that, what you said na nag-shielding ka, it's a very common question that I try to answer for other people, pero baka you have another point of view on it. How do you shield yourself from other people's emotions?
Okay. College rin, may books for less in front of our college. Tapos I tripped upon a book, as in hinahawakan ko lang, biglang nag-stop yung kamay ko. It was a book by Kathleen Rhea. Tapos yung book signed pa niya, and then may mga newspaper clippings. I got to talk to her, natawagan ko rin siya sa US. And it's a very helpful book for sensitive kasi intuition 101 ang dating niya. So one of the things I picked up from her book tsaka teachings niya is the moment you recognize na suddenly out of the blue, parang right off the bat, biglang nag-iba yung emotions or feelings mo and you know na wala namang trigger from your side o walang cause. Sabihin mo lang, parang i-ground mo sarili mo, parang imagine the feeling going into a ball, parang shoot it up into the sun. And just say, you can say this to yourself and to yung psyche mo na parang, these are not mine, parang these are not mine to keep. Parang I throw it out to the universe. So there's also intention and energy that goes through the emotions. So lahat naman yun, di ba? Thoughts, energies, actions, these are all energies. So it's how you manipulate yung energy so you can kumbaga cleanse yung or rid yourself of those different energies. More so sa bata kasi bata talaga they're sponges kaya di ba paminsan sasabihin mo nagta-tantrum or parang hindi masyado lang silang makulit and then yung their ball of energies kumbaga, but you can be particularly observant sa mga anak, yung mga out there na parents, kailan sila feeling blue, kailan sila biglang, alam mo yun, nagiging moody. And for others, like for me, nagkakasakit. And yung iba naman, talaga, ayaw nila lumapit sa mga taong may sakit. Napansin ko rin yun sa daughter namin, nung baby siya. Ang iiyakan lang na, kasi siya, very, kumbaga, friendly baby. Pero ang iiyakan lang niya, yung alam niya may mga cancer. Actually, hindi namin alam na may cancer. Bigla na lang, may cancer pala siya. Okay, kaya pala ganun yung reaction ng baby namin, ganun.
Cancer tracker pala siya, no? Pwedeng i-test. Pero thank you for that. Quick question. Ikaw, how did your parents deal with it? Knowing na, yun nga, you had these sensitivities. Kasi minor ka pala, nag-join ka na. Pero earlier than that, did they believe you?
Tinawagan na rin ako ng priest ng mama.
Okay.
Bumisita namin si Mother Jerry Orbos. Alam ko, lumalabas siya dati sa TV. I was 5 naalala ko 1990 kasi meron akong experience na kinukulit ko sila na halos everyday na nakita ko yung Santo Niño namin na gumalaw, basta something to that effect, and even yung mga pictures, yung holy pictures nila. Parang Harry Potter type And then suddenly, di ba, nagkaroon ng lindol. And then, basta I was saying something like, I told you, sabi ko, gumagalaw. So siguro yun yung association ko na gumagalaw yung mundo. Kasi yung sa Santo Niño, yung nakita ko, yung gumalaw yung ball and scepter. So parang binang siya 3 times. And syempre, I feel my parents did not believe me. And after nung lindol, yung great earthquake natin noong 1990, nagpatawag rin yung mom ko ng priest kasi siya natatakot siya. And pero kahit na very solid Catholic yung mom ko, she believes and especially growing up kasi I would say things na I have no reason or any way or chance na malaman ko yon, especially coming from their parents na yung like, sa side niya hindi ko na naabutan yung father niya, and then even sa side ng dad ko. Tapos tinawagan ako hindi ko lang alam paano kamusta yung nila. I remember faintly yung interview sa akin ng priest. Parang tinanong lang niya sa akin what happened. And then sila na nag-usap na mom ko. Syempre naintindihan ko yung fear niya na baka, yung mga nagpapakita, sinasaniban. Diba usually they attribute agad sa demonic forces.
Possession.
Like
yes,
that. Yung dad ko naman, very chill and cool person lang talaga yun. And I feel, hindi lang I feel, I believe he has his own experiences, tsaka mataas rin yung intuition niya. Like, alam niya pag hindi niya pagkakatiwalaan yung mga naliligaw. Alam ko yung, tao rin. And kuwari may mga mag-aakyat ng ligaw pa. Alam ko yung tell niya pag hindi niya masyadong feel And yeah, tsaka ano yun mahilig siya sa ETs. Kasi makulit rin yun kumbaga dad ko hindi man troublemaker pero alam mo yun, mahilig sa adventure and all. And so sabi niya sa akin, hindi mo masasabi sa akin walang ET. Parang ganun yung ano niya.
I'll go through my first question lang. How should people who discover that they have sensitivities or they find out na meron silang weird na na-experience, similar to you, Peachie, how should they go about it now? Na there are more resources, there are more people who are more understanding. But what do you think their steps should be? Okay, you can feel, you can see, you can talk to them. What's your first step before you jump to the paranormal?
I can take that, Nick.
Okay, sige.
I think the first thing is to ask yourself what do you want to do with it. If you, it depends. If you want to develop it, and then you ask yourself what do you want to do with the gifts, right? If it's something that you really want to pursue, parang you want to enhance it, not necessarily to quest, pero to help you, because we believe these are natural gifts that helps you navigate through your day-to-day. So if you just want to enhance it, I think you touched on it. There are the advantage of our times right now. Sobrang dami nating resources on the internet and other groups, diba? That I remember Tony Perez, one of the first times I quested with him, he said, you guys are very lucky because you have access to a lot of information that during his time when he was growing up, he did not really have.
Yes.
He'd have to travel far and spend a lot to be able to get resources. So once you know what you want to do it, if you want to enhance it, then you could look at the internet. I don't believe that there is one group or one discipline that holds the whole truth about the paranormal.
Yes.
And part of the journey would be to go around and really see which resources or even which groups call to what you want to do with your gifts and what you want to do with your life. Some people would find it more beneficial if they join yung mga groups that foster well-being, diba? Or enhancing yung psychic abilities nila just to help themselves, then that's all good. There are other groups, if you feel that your calling is towards using your abilities to help others, so there are other groups like the LightSeers and a couple of others that help that. Kasi in my opinion, parang immersing yourself in these groups or in these studies would help you know more about yourself and what you want to do with your gifts. So I guess it's knowing what you want to do with it, and when you know what you want to do with it, join communities, join groups, open your mind, discuss, talk. If it doesn't feel right, move on. If it feels right, roll with it. That's how I would go about it.
Ryan, would you have advice for people who, in general lang, more people would go this route? They say that I want to understand it so I can live a normal life with it. Parang yun. So for people who just want to live with it, to understand it, so parang pwedeng ganun na parang just join conversations, join groups, and learn from it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because the other side, I said, right, there are a lot of resources on the internet and books right now, but it's double-edged. The availability of that information, medyo nakalula na rin, and you don't know anymore which one is right or which one makes sense, right? So it's really hard to navigate kung saan ka talaga pupunta. But if you want to live a normal life, you want to understand it. For me, it helps being with people, talking to them about it, people with the same experience. And then they would give you also a different perspective siguro, or change your perspective. Kasi if I don't want to sound too scholarly here, pero parang if you feel that you have these abilities and you feel you're not normal because you have these abilities, parang you have to break yung paradigm na yun. These things, these abilities are actually part of us.
Yes.
Nothing, extraordinary. It's nothing na parang binigay ng aliens or whatever. It's part of us. We've been with us. Even animals have intuition, and it helps us navigate our day to day. And once you've changed that paradigm, pero hindi madali kasi to change that paradigm because socially, di ba? Socially, weirdo to, nakakita ng parang ganun, di ba? Pero I think the first step is to change your paradigm. And to be able to do that, it helps if you interact with people with the same abilities, and then you see na they're not too weird naman. So I don't think I should be too weirded out rin about what I have. And then if it's these groups also can. One of the things we do in the public workshops that Peachie was mentioning is that we also teach people how to
Parang open and close.
harness yung abilities in a way that it doesn't really disrupt your normal day-to-day, but actually enhances it. It helps you be more creative, more open. Parang sa work, parang ang nasisense mo kagad kung sino yung
Nabibigyan.
you use it a lot, right? So parang ganun. Pero I think the paradigm shift from thinking that it's something that's totally weirded out. Yeah.
In this portion, medyo naparant ako sa mga ibang witch talker na sa opinion ko ay minsan kulang sa context ang tinuturo nila. In my opinion, marami kasi sa kanila, ang focus ay makagain na followers kaysa maturo kung ano ang kinakailangan. And merong magandang point si Peachie tungkol dito. Hindi lahat ng nasasabi sa TikTok.
Tama kasi parang nag-end up yung iba as spiritual junkie, yung na-over. Tapos, ang daming, sometimes kasi may conflicting di ba? And ang mas lalo pa silang na hindi lang discouraged, more of confused rather than elucidated or enlightened.
Yes.
So parang isang siguro direction you can go to, parang you could research the likes of, let's say, I mentioned it a while ago, si Catherine Rea, kasi ginamit rin siya ng FBI for missing cases, and she trained rin mga police and investigators, detectives. So may sense of legitimacy yun And you can go to, let's say, meron si Jimmy Licao, or kung yung iba, like Global Scale, Edgar Casey, Brian Gordon, or Gordon Smith pala. And they also include yung they also included sa mga universities. So, yung mga noetic sciences. So, it's grounded rin with some metaphysics and quantum mechanics concepts. Kasi totoo naman na hindi pa makahabol ang science to prove paranormal or supernatural occurrences. But it's there. But they believe it. Like 90% of the scientific community, they do believe in the spiritual plane and the unseen, kumbaga.
More yung mga quantum physicists, no? More than yung mga ibang field. Kasi nakikita nila yung yung entanglement, I think. Wala rin akong alam, pero it's more of, alam ko lang yung ibang concepts that could relate to the concepts as told in the stories. Minsan, I guess, baka yun nga, medyo nerdy na. Pero minsan nakikita ko, feeling ko yung concept ng entanglement is just the same as the concept na we are all one. We all come from one source. And whatever, kunyari, you need to tap to a certain person, kailangan mo lang makita kailangan makita mo mata, kailangan makita mo yung ibang details ng tao, and you can connect to that person instantly. Why? Because we are all connected. So meron yun nga, may entanglement lahat. So yun yung pagka-understand ko. I mean, it's very basic, pero I'm trying to understand more. Peachie question. Yun nga, so since yung spectrum mo nga of sensitivity is yun nga, mas all around. Question. Ito kasi sometimes I try to connect yung hindi ko pa rin natanong naman sa'yo if more human spirits or more elementals ang mas yung connection mo. So when you go to other countries, do you see the same entities? Meaning, if it's a duende here, medyo dwarf yung itsura sa ibang bansa, do you experience that?
Yeah, more na nakikita ko sa ibang countries would be human spirits. But napansin ko kasi yung like 2019 went to Connecticut. So nandun yun sa forest. And then in a way rin like yung mga ents, di ba Lord of
Yes,
the
oo.
Rings, yung mga three
Mm-mm.
elementals. Sabi ko, okay, may similarity naman talaga. Even yung the look and the feel and the I would say I'd call it emotions or
Okay.
mga sensibilities. Kumbaga, meron silang kanya-kanyang characteristic. And kaya nga sabi ko, it's no wonder na even prior yung digital age, di ba, magkakahiwalay tayo. But we have mga tomes or books or records, mga archives ng pag sinabing mga underground people or
Yes.
gnomes and dwarves, pare-pareho with the pointy hat, even with the balbas, even yung height nila. Tapos natuwa rin ako, di ba sa Scotland, mayroon silang museum for yung gano'n, mga dwarves. So, may collection sila. So, sabi ko, yun I think, even yung mga sirena in Africa, Philippines, different names, same features and characteristics.
Okay. So, question. So, in terms of what they look like, kasi what I've come to learn from listening to other people's experiences, iba yung register per tao. Even if may magbakit ng entity dyan, iba-iba ang perception natin. Oo, iba-iba perception natin. Again, di ko alam kung may insight ka into bakit, baka yung inclination ng tao, baka yung disposition ng tao. Anyway, so when you see the different, let's say, again, I'm not sure if sabi mo nga may ents sa Connecticut. In other parts of the world, pag may na-feel or may napansin ka, meron ka ba nakikitang difference in terms of their look, in terms of their attitudes?
Actually, wala. Parang
Wala. Okay.
wala masyado. Like, kasi ako, environmentalist rin. I love nature and when I'm there,
okay.
I commune with them and nakikita mo rin yung personalities eh. Siyempre may iba very, hindi lang yung doon, hindi malikot eh. Very, playful, mischievous.
Okay.
Meron rin talaga doon when you communicate with them and they know if you are someone who respects nature and someone who respects territory and domain and understand yung nila, kumbaga yung role nila, the role that they play sa ecosystems and all. Kasi I was thinking, Rendell, di ba ang talag natin folk religions and yung ancestors natin, mga
Yes.
sila, shamans and animismo yung pinapractice. So talagang nandun yung connection from
With nature.
with people interacting and even holding mga truces and agreements with nature spirit. So feeling ko parang napasa-pasa yan eh. Di ba parang cultural or historical thing for our people and their
Yes,
kind.
yes.
So maybe in a way, yung friendliness comes from parang passed on generational
generations.
stories, right? Baka nila rin ganon. Yun yung yun yung take ko on it, like how I see it.
Yes. Question rin lang for Peachie, Ryan, and Juno. Were there any cases, unusual, probably unusual, were there unusual cases that you've handled as LightSeers na, yun nga, parang na-open yung mind nyo to a wider spectrum of possibilities? Kasi in general, hindi ko alam, baka you can let me know. This is an assumption lang, na I'm assuming most of the problems kasi na ina-approach, it will root to disrespect for nature or disrespect for a spirit, a human spirit. Kaya nagkakagulo, kaya nagkaka-imbalance yung mga bahay, ganon. So meron bang cases na hindi usual na human spirit or elemental na nagkaalitan lang, na medyo na-open up rin yung, I guess, mind nyo? Open na kayo mind nyo, na open pa wider. Meron ba ganong cases na parang na iba yung world view nyo, universe view, let's say?
Sige, parang nag-rolodex yung utak ko. Pero sige, Juno,
Okay.
Juno, sige, ikaw
Sige,
muna.
Juno. Oo.
Ika lang, nagro-rolodex rin yung utak ko. Nag-iisip ko yung mga past cases.
There was a time na medyo sunod-sunod yung parang kulang cases. So sa SQ kasi dati, napapansin namin for a period of time, sunod-sunod yan, like you were saying, parang it's more of a family issue. Sila yung nag-aaway, so negative yung place, and nagpaparamdam na yung mga elementals kasi nga pangit na yung energy. Pero there was a time na pero these were during the times na nasa SQ pa ako. Sunod-sunod yan, puro kulam. As in, straight up kulam talaga. May, may nangungulam because of some slight. So,
Yes.
Tapos there were, may time rin naman na puro crime, puro murder, puro rape. There was that na rin, sunod-sunod rin yung tungkol sa incubus. So, medyo wide rin yung experience about the types of cases na handle namin. But I would say tama parang maybe 75% of the time, it's about disrespecting the elementals and disrespecting others in the family. Pero meron talaga yung sorry, I would say that there was this time rin na parang mga bahay na pinamumugaran ng mga super dark na entities, parang gano'n. Yeah. So parang the insight that I got there kasi was, yeah, there are things that are caused by humans and parang with the elementals, pero there are deeper, darker things then, bigger things that are not easily understood, accepted, or even solved. Those are the cases na talagang medyo mahirap, very, very challenging.
The reason I ask this is I remembered lang kasi yung, I'm not sure if naalala niyo yung si Ruel de Vera kasi he wrote some books about SpiritQuestors, diba?
Yeah.
And when I talked to him, one of the cases that stood out to him is nagkaroon ng case ng Questors na merong girl in a mirror who was from a parallel world that wanted to take over the girl in our universe, in our world. So parang doon ako rin na doon, ano na naman yan? Kala ko pa multo-multo. Elemental na meron ng parallel world na lumalabas na gano'ng experience. So parang hindi ko alam if meron kayong gano'ng kakaiba na again, not to pressure you, na experiences na parang, may gano'n pala. Hindi ko alam.
Some mirrors talaga, marami kami nakikita through the mirrors.
Talaga?
But I'm not sure kung parallel world. I guess, not, siguro.
Possibility.
Possible, right? Na galing sa...
It's a vortex or ano dito.
Yeah, dito pa rin sa world not necessarily universe. Pero yeah, marami yan sa mirrors pala. First thing we always look at when we're questing sa mirrors.
Talaga? So anong pwede? Sa mga taong nakikinig na maraming mirror sa bahay, anong best na pwedeng gawin?
Huwag lang matulog in front of a mirror.
Talaga? Pero sabi nila yung, kunyari, nakatutulog ka sa TV, mirror yun, di ba?
Yeah.
Black mirror, hindi.
Sabi nila parang it will be good if you, yung kung saan ka natulog, hindi diretso sa mirror, especially yung paa mo hindi nakatulog sa mirror. Sabi nila mirror shouldn't be positioned straight dun sa door. Parang through and through. Parang ganun. Other things you can do is make sure na kung may mirror man kayo na hindi, like if you have an old mirror na you couldn't get rid of kasi medyo nasa family yun na for the longest time, you could put something in front of it para lang hindi siya, para may nakaharang, stuff like that. Pero some mirrors act as talaga natural pathways na para silang what people would say portals, daanan talaga ng mga spirits, entities, and we don't recommend really messing with that. Kasi parang ano yan what's one of the elders they taught us, parang EDSA yan pag sinara mo, it will cause more problems, diba? So, yeah, but yeah, what Ruel said is true. There, talaga, mirrors are even traditionally, even historically, mirrors have always been parang a way to look into the other side.
The other side. So best to redirect, parang ganon.
Not necessarily.
More than stop.
No, not necessarily. Maybe redirect in the sense that if you have a mirror, tas nakadiretso sa paa mo, then just reposition it na lang. Or
Okay.
just basic feng shui stuff. Ikaw, Juno, you want to add anything?
A general rule I do is as long as you don't see yourself in the mirror, you're good.
Okay.
Ganun yan. Parang, basta pag if you see your reflection, maybe you should move it. Pero kunyari, when you lie down, you don't see naman, parang broken na yung flow ng energy.
Oo.
So I think you're safe, something like that. That's what I use as a rule.
Okay.
Anong experience mo, Juno? You have experience na.
I guess yung pinaka-major is that yung parang may mga, yung katulad in relation to what Ryan said about yung may mga seasons of cases na laging similar, sunod-sunod. There was a time rin na sunod-sunod naman na ang mga cases is na pupuntahan ko is yung parang those elementals are so angry that they want to, or not really angry, parang may mga angry, may hindi, na basta ang general theme is gusto nilang kunin yung spirit ng isang human, something like that, or kasi in love or galit, madaming reason. So parang wala lang, na parang nag-iba rin yung point of view ko na parang pwede pala yun. And pati na parang even though if they're elementals, they act like us also. They are driven by emotions also. Something like that.
Do you believe that, kasi may nag-explain sa amin before, that mostly, in general, elementals are neutral naman daw. But when they stay within certain people's houses or vicinity of the place na merong humans, they tend to adapt to the emotions in a certain place. Do you believe that, or from experience it isn't like that?
It is possible na mangyari yung gano'n kasi parang as inhabitants of a certain area, of a certain place, kasi parang you have energies around it eh. So energies affect the inhabitants of that location. Parang so, kunyari, kung yung energy nung paminsan, may mga na-encounter rin kami mga cases, kunyari sa isang area, sa isang place, there's an angry entity, nakukuha rin ng kunyari ng family na parang na-realize na kaya pala nag-aaway kami, yung parang mainit ng ulo namin, something like that. So parang they can absorb also the energy na inaano ng entity sa
No,
within
visiting
the
entity.
place. Yes, and at the same time, it can go other way around na nagpapatulong yung entity sa amin because pangit yung energies ng family, nag-aaway sila lagi, na parang sila affected rin, something na parang kaya nagpapatulong sila na parang please help us kasi nag-aaway sila.
Okay.
Sila pala yung Negatron, oo.
Oo, sila pala yung Negatron.
Oo, kasi tendency, parang yung mga nagpapatawag, akala, easily they attribute na may dito, may entity, may mumuks causing this sa amin. And then, pag natapos na yung quest or investigation, yung pala, meron palang isang family member, siya pala yung merong, tawag dito, rene-repress na ganitong feelings towards another member. So, most of the times, yung problem, it's a human-caused problem rather than yung mga elementals or spirits.
Quick question. How do you resolve that to tell the person, sir, kayo may problema? Ganoon, or you find a way to say it?
Diplomatically,
Okay.
parang sinasabi namin, parang straight up, respectfully na ito yung
Okay.
Kasi yan usually one-on-one para mag-uusap kami. Sige, read mo siya personally. Kasi para pagdating dun sa, let's say, circle with the family na, mas gumagaan, hindi gumagaan, more of, nasa-soften up sila to tell the truth rin sa family members. Kasi di ba yun naman yung pakay to better things or to solve yung problem. But if yung communication is cut or things are not said or ito pala talaga yung emotional or psychological problem existing in the family or in the unit, then hindi rin talaga matatapos or hindi it does not help yung what's happening in the house at all.
When you guys mediate a problem, so this is something I've heard from former Questors, there shouldn't be any exchange of blood, parang ganun. So, when you mediate pa, do you still follow that similar to your SpiritQuestor days na dapat mag-mediate na walang blood sacrifice na mangyayari, walang bloodletting na mangyayari? Or case-to-case basis siya?
Yes.
We steer away talaga from anything that involves blood.
Pwede malaman bakit. Pwede natin cut, pero let me know kung pwede isama.
It was siguro one of the traditions dun sa SQ was yung tinuro rin sa amin na when you involve parang blood sacrifice, it delves more into the parang darker type of magic. It doesn't mean it's bad. Don't take me wrong. Kasi ano naman yun eh. Traditionally, di ba, ano talaga siya, parang symbol of life. Blood is a symbol of life, and giving of blood is like giving some higher form of sacrifice. Pero kami, we believe yung pagpapadugo also kasi kinda involves killing an animal, di ba? Traditionally, parang ganun nangyari. And we believe that there are other means, more peaceful, less messy means of achieving the same result. I'd say 99% of the time, that's been my experience. There are other ways that we could achieve the same result. Yeah, I have yet to encounter that would disprove that, pero I'm sure there is. Pero for now, parang okay lang. We go for something else.
So for, let's say, for persistent negotiations, what are the samples, or if you have examples of, let's say, persistent yung entity, it could be a human spirit or elemental, asking, kailangan dugo. Paano nyo na-mediate yun? Ano yung pinaka-best compromise? If meron, sorry.
Ako, personally, I haven't encountered any that has asked for it without, na talagang pinilit nila. Actually, ano yun eh, more of the elementals that I've encountered, parang I don't want to say mababaw, pero they're easy to appease eh, as long as parang the family that's making the offering is sincere. Sometimes lang eh, what do you call this? A piece of chocolate, tuwa na sila.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feeling ko, ako from experience rin and from readings, I feel it would not be elementals who will be asking for sacrifice. If ever, alam mo yung case mo na first time na tayo namatayan, dahil kasi yung pinutol yung mga puno, linagyan ng sangsako ng asin. It was may ganun.
Okay.
First time na namatayan ng SQ ng agent.
Okay.
Oo, during the quest. O kwento mo kasi maganda talaga yung ano na yun.
Pero humingi naman eh.
O hindi nga humingi. Pero in a way, there was life taken. Because ano yun eh, parang an eye for an eye yun nangyari. Justice.
It wasn't.
Talaga? Parang it reflected that way.
Sabi ni Peach, we had a case na pumatos yung agent.
So mabilis na singit lang, sabi is agent. So clarify ko lang yung terms nila. So sa mga case nila, ang tawag nila sa client or yung humihingi ng tulong or nangangailangan ng tulong ay agent. Okay, balik tayo sa kwento.
Sabi ni Peach, we had a case na pumatos yung agent. So pinatawag kami ng family to mediate kasi prior to yung agent na yun going into a coma, may malaking puno kasi sa harap ng bahay nila na pinaputol niya.
Pinuputol ni agent?
Pinaputol ng agent. Tapos parang habang pinuputol pa, medyo hazy yung details, pero parang nung unang time hindi nila maputol kasi nagkasakit yung gumagawa, yung nagpuputol. So what they did was they buried a couple of sacks of rock salt sa root ng puno. With the intent talaga to hurt talaga.
To hurt, oo.
So parang a few days after that, nakumatos na siya. So parang without, parang ang nangyari lang, we went we dispatched some questors dun sa patient sa hospital. At the same time, we were dun sa site nung bahay, dun sa puno, and then we did a quest. Para sa sabi ni Peach kasi yung time na yun, we were able to determine na ang dami kasing namatay dun sa puno. Kasi it's a big old tree eh. So para siyang natirahan ng maraming elementals, hindi lang isa. And parang they were holding yung soul nung agent, yeah, in the tree as a way of parang panggante, parang
Yes.
gante siya. Pero after mediation rin naman, they let the agent's soul go. after I think there were promises made to be able to parang to make what happened right. Pero yun lang, when they said they would let him go, literally they let him go. And then, I don't know, actually, that same instant, we stood up from the circle, tumawag yung Questors dun
House.
sa hospital.
Hospital.
Oo, saying na he just passed a few seconds ago.
Mm-mm.
So, but it wasn't necessarily parang a life for a life. It was more if they held that spirit captive parang sa
So,
galaxy.
bintik siya, pero not necessarily sa plane na to.
Yeah, pero the whole point is that they after there were promises made, earnestly made to make things better, they also accepted that and didn't necessarily ask for the agent's life. It's just that when they did at the agent's life,
Yes.
papunta na siya sa wherever.
I remember yun nga, just to connect it with what another questor said kay Miss Chiki, sinabi niya, first thing that you shouldn't do kung meron ka nararamdaman.
It's mag-asin.
Oo, huwag ka magsasaboy ng asin. So I remember talking, so I was in may work-related meeting ako the other day. Tapos yung isang nakausap ko, nakakaramdam siya, ganon. Tapos meron daw sumunod sa kanya from an ocular visit, may sumunod sa kanya sa bahay niya. Ang first thing daw na ginawa niya, nagsaboy siya. Huwag mong gawin. Kasi sabi ko, wala namang ginawa sa'yo. Nararamdaman mo, sumusunod, yes. Pero, hindi mo alam, may masama bang ginawa sa'yo? Merong devious bang ginawa? Hindi. It's more of natatakot ka. Ba't sumusunod sa akin to? Pero ang ginawa niya, nagsaboy daw talaga kagad. So, remind ko sa kanya, parang act of aggression yan, agad. Wala namang, may curiosity lang sa'yo. Pero, nag-sign of war ka kagad. So sabi ko, yun nga. So again, sa mga nakikinig, wag agad yun ang move. Wag agad asin ang move. Pero yun nga. So, ayan, based sa kwento nga ni Ryan, merong grave consequences if grabe rin yung gawin nyo against, di ba? Yung intention nyo pag isto ganun. Grabe. Yung na-hold yung soul, no? Actually, na-mention nyo kanina, Ryan, I'm not sure if ikaw na-mention nun, yung about, or Juno, about incubus. So, incubus and succubus, ano yung, can I ask, kasi syempre mostly theories pa lang ang nakukuha ko from other people. Maybe you have more insight into it. Ano yung pagkaintindi nyo sa incubus and succubus? Kasi instantly, ang sasabihin ng mga, again, reactive conclusion ng mga tao, it's a demon that wants to rape me or that wants to take advantage of my body, ganun kagad. Baka naman tama yun, hindi ko alam. Pero yun, so what are your insights into incubus and succubus? Succubi pala.
Juno, may case ka na ba? Or
Madami na.
incubus case? Okay. Ikaw na lang.
Incubus and succubus. It's really more of hindi naman siya na parang elemental is just very aggressive lang. There are cases kasi na yung mismong agent gusto niya yung nangyayari.
Yes, oo.
So parang it's more of it's a psychological and psychic connection with the entity. Parang ang basic parang ang turo rin sa akin before nung sa mga quests is that it's more than often na laging it was invited, parang the entity was invited by the person. Na parang laging ang case na kunyari yung girl was really lonely, so yung psychologically parang unconsciously parang she was inviting the entity na parang tara I'm lonely, parang let's have a relationship, something like that. So
yung
parang
parang,
it's not
sige, go ahead.
It's not really may iba kasi parang nagiging consensual.
Yes.
Yung iba naman na yun nga nag-ask for help kasi unconsciously lang niya ginagawa. Pero hindi naman niya talaga gusto, na parang siguro parang ang nangyayari like the entity is took it as an invitation na parang okay, I'll do things to you, something like that.
Isa kasi sa mga naging theory ko, again, theory lang siya based on the stories told, is usually it is repressed sexual emotion. Parang 'Di ba? Marami kasi nangyayari na, again, based on the stories I've heard and some stories I've read, kadalasan sa teenagers nangyayari. And maybe up to late teens or early 20s, parang ganun. Yung medyo hindi pa ganun again, baka medyo sensitive topic, hindi pa ganun ka-sexually active yung tao. So parang na-invite nila because of that repression. So hindi ko alam if tama ba yung theory ko.
Yeah.
May possibility kasi these are
Yeah.
sexual demons talaga and they operate when you sleep. So yun yung parang isang hindi symptom, isang evidence when you know there's an incubus or succubus sa case. Pag lagi nilang sinasabi, pag tulog sila. Meron kasing cases, nagising sila. So,
Okay.
may nararamdaman sila na ginagawa sa kanila and they're feeling, mixed eh. Pero one tell rin for itong mga sexual demons is they do it when you're asleep. Parang when your body's vulnerable and you're, pwedeng untethered rin yung diwa mo or yung spirit. Meron recent case just August lang na tinake rin namin. Incubus siya. Tapos, ang inaano niya is a gay kid. Tapos yung pala, during the quest, first time lang niya umamin. As in, hindi nga daw niya inaamin sa parents niya. Nangyari kasi sa kanya is he was raped nung nasa college siya. So, up until now, hindi, kasi few years back lang naman yon, wala pa rin, hindi pa rin siya nagsisik ng professional help. And it's still with him, yung trauma na yon. And found out rin that that's the connection between him and yung incubus
entity
na yon. Yun yung kumbaga yung trauma niya ng rape, parang ang labas kasi nun, hindi niya syempre ma-let go yung trauma na nangyari sa kanya.
Yes.
So since nagkaroon rin siya ng instance na feel niya na na-rape rin siya while sleeping, it makes it bearable for him na paulit-ulit lang rin yung nangyayari kasi that's how he sees sex.
Yes.
Parang perverted na yung niya.
Yung view niya.
Bearable na it happens to him and he feels na it should be okay. Something to that effect. Medyo
So for let's say yun, very special case yun for to how to deal with it. Pero for other people who have, let's say yun nga, it is an unconscious response minsan that they allow it to happen. What are the ways they can avoid it? Given na sabihin mo may alam na sila. Let's say, I hope not, I hope wala nakikinig na teenager, pero kung meron man, let's say, non-minors na nakikinig, na nakaka-experience nun, what are the ways they can avoid it from happening?
Ang tingin ko rin dyan is to be, ang hirap maging open, especially sa culture natin, right? You know,
Yes.
be open to your parents. Pero kung hindi, at least to a circle of friends you trust. Taboo pa for most families to talk about yung sexuality. But I believe it's important na to let these things out. Kasi pag repress rin siya, hindi lang psychically, but it also does things psychologically and how yung tingin nila sex is, na parang it's just an act, it should be, this and that, and it turns out to a different perverted thing for them. So parang first things first, to make them feel na sexuality and talks about sex should be normalized and
Normal, yes.
kasi naman, it's part of a human condition. And kasi tama ka napansin ko nga rin, like what Juno saying, and I'm trying to recall rin yung mga cases namin na gano'n. Kung hindi nga puro teenagers, kasi meron kami nung COVID 15-year-old yung mga people rin na repressed sexually or meron rin silang low self-esteem and sila pa yung parang never been kissed, never been nagka-jowa or anything, and
yes,
they seek siguro yung psyche nila or subconscious seek it through different yung wanting and sexual wanting. Aside from talking it out, ang recommendation rin namin pag may ganyan is to seek professional help kasi may mga partners rin kaming psychologists or psychiatrists,
Okay.
hypnotherapists. Meron kaming laging go-to rin pag ang case namin would be, kasi we want to cover all bases. Hindi naman
Yes.
lahat na pumunta sa amin is a supernatural case eh.
Yes, yes.
Parang 50-50 yan eh. The 50% would be psychological and talagang very raw, and it can be biological chemical thing, and they need meds for that. So i-recommend rin namin yon after yung mga interviews and some quest. Itatagpi namin dun sa findings or abstract ng mga partners namin para we can weed out whether this is a paranormal case or pwede rin kasi siyang sabay eh. Pwede rin na dahil dun sa nila, yung mental condition, it's attracting. And then para siyang chicken and egg and then becomes a vicious
Correct.
yung cases din.
Actually, yung gusto kong mapag-usapan in a specific episode. Kasi may nakakausap akong mga who've worked with mental institutions, who've worked with patients who have different psychosomatic, let's say, experiences. Kasi minsan yung symptoms nila are similar to the symptoms of a person who has begun to open up their sensitivities. Let's say, kagaya si Peachie, di ba? You see things, you hear things. Minsan yun yung gauge sa schizophrenia, di ba? So, minsan mapaisip ka, may topak ba ako? Kasi ganun yung nangyayari sa kanila minsan. Na bumubulong, may third voice na di ba? So, yun ang gusto ko minsan, again, kinukwento ko lang sa inyo, gusto ko minsan magawang episode para at least ma-open rin yung minds ng iba na baka magpatingin ka muna pero baka rin hindi yun yung ano. Pero, since you've mentioned it, paano yung process nyo? If okay lang siya i-discuss, let me know kung ayaw nyo siyang...
Sure.
Ano yung process nyo? Let's say someone calls LightSeers or sends an email. Let's say yung parang screening process nyo.
Screening, sige. So, usually yan ang makakaalam lang ng case would be one person. Ang tawag namin sa kanya, dispatcher. So,
okay.
ang reason for this is para if it's a questable case, meaning we have to quest yung place or yung tao, walang bias yung mga trainees and members. Kasi we've had instances in the past, parang they have an idea of what the case is. Parang, okay, alam mo yun, tamad not to push themselves to learn the case. Pero kung yung mga trainees and members mo, wala talaga, all come there, talagang tabula rasa or walang idea at all. Aside from working hard to sense things and to know more about the case, dun rin makikita in the end, okay, ito pala yung issue kasi lahat sila are saying the same thing.
Yes, oo.
Diba? Parang ito yung similar impressions and observations. So, dun lumalabas yung sagot, kumbaga, from And then, pag kumari may ikaw, nag-message ka sa amin, babasahan muna yan ng dispatcher or yung head dispatcher. Ito ba for reading lang? Meaning, we can do remote reading. We'll just ask yung trainees or members namin, sige, pull a card or basahan nyo, however you wish to read for this person. Kasi iba-iba rin yung styles ng mga tao. And yung iba kasi through dreams, yung iba through different types of oracle. And yung pag okay naman yung reading, ayan, okay na siya. Ibibigay lang namin yung report. But if it's ang tawag namin questable case, i-dispatch yung mga every weekend lang yan para since all of us are professionals rin and working.
Yes.
Kung sino yung mga available, i-dispatch sila dun sa location. Tapos walang alam. Pwede kasing hindi sumama yung dispatcher or pwedeng wala talaga at all sa kanila may alam about the case. Pero talaga, 100% lumalabas yan. Confidently saying na sige, mag-ano tayo, parang safeguard lang, 99.9. But yun yung case. So, ganun yung namin process. Parang meron muna magsisense talking to a person, and then pwede rin tawagan yan, i-interviewin sila for further questioning. Parang kailan po ba nag-start to? Kailan nyo napapansin? Kasi yung mga in-betweens, yung mga hindi nila nakikwento, importante rin na lumabas during the interview. And then more pag during the quest. Pag may natatago, lumalabas yun eh. So, kasi relevant siya to the case.
Pero, kumbaga sa start pa lang, kung intuition-wise, during, let's say, reading through oracles or through dreams, lumalabas na psychological siya. From that point on, papasa nyo na siya. Parang ganun yung nangyayari, no?
Kunwari, it's a psychological case, parang sasabihin natin, hindi siya paranormal eh. Like, recently kaming case on ang kasi grandmother with dementia. And then lahat rin, yun yung pare-pareho yung sinasabi. So, ang sasabihin lang namin na to seek, kunwari, second opinion, kung hindi pa sila. Kasi yan eh, kahit na, like you mentioned, kahit na may similarities in terms of hallucinations and mga voices, pero meron pa ring nuance or subtle differences when it comes to someone who's hallucinating due to yung mental condition as compared to someone with a mental condition and seeing things. Kasi kung pwedeng may question na pumunta seeing the same thing, pwede rin kasing projection yun nung may sakit eh.
So parang thought form,
Yes,
parang
oo.
tulpa. Oo.
Pero malalaman mo rin kung thought form kung you can interact with the entity or not. Kung wari you interact, kinakausap mo, hindi ka pinapansin, pwedeng thought form or impression lang kasi yun yung usual na ginagawa. But if that entity reacts to what you're saying, to what you're doing, or how you communicate with it, most often than not, it's a living entity, kumbaga.
Ang hirap pala nun.
Oo, parang,
Kasi di ba, may added complexity na parang ina-analyze mo through your psychic abilities pa. Hindi siya physical, di ba? So, kailangan mo ma-diagnose thought form ba to, tulpa ba to, or,
oo.
di ba?
Tsaka parang siya, may logic and parang siyang CSI rin eh. Kasi yung iba parang scientific na lang, malamig ba dito? Yung pala may butas na, alam mo yun, there's draft coming in. Alam mo yung gano'n? May naisip kasi akong isang case namin na gano'n na hindi nila nakita may may na sa roof, may butas. Kaya may draft.
Parang meron bang way na proper way of doing a quest na dapat wala talagang bias when you go into a quest or you go into a parang a reading lang nung isang person or nung isang location. Hindi ko alam kung meron kayong masasabi doon.
Yeah. Naalala ko yung ganyan. Well, pag nakakita ko ng mga ganyan, I don't know if you played it before. I mean, Dungeons and Dragons. Yung parang
Yes, oo.
may magkasabi ng something, tapos they all build on it. Parang gumagawa.
Yes. Oo.
No, that's a very real concern. And biases rin naman kasi. One thing is you don't want to go into a quest like what Peachie said with biases, but more of without biases towards what the case is. Pero hindi rin natin may iwasan kasi every one of us, we have our own biases and that's part of who we are. Hindi talaga natin matatanggal yan completely. And sometimes those biases and those experiences are what add more depth to yung contribute mo sa quest, right? So for me, I always say this during the trainings. What really helps or what really makes you see or give feedback on things that are real lang is your intention. If your intention is to, because of your past experiences, maybe being thrown from one group kicked out from one group or another, and then you come to this group and you wanna, try to project na you're all-knowing or gusto mong i-project rin that you're something more than the normal human being. You'll always find ways to say things or see things na pwedeng hindi na totoo or believe na totoo siya kahit hindi. But if your intention going into the quest or going into a reading is really to help someone, the agent, di ba? And your intention is really for you to grow, kasi part of being a seer or quester is doing these things so that you could know more about yourself and to grow. If your intentions are that straightforward and pure, ano yan eh, hindi iiwasan mo talagang gumawa ng kwento. If you don't see it, even if everyone is saying, oy, may nakita kaming three-headed monster dun sa kwarto. Pag hindi mo nakita, sabi mo, sorry, hindi ko talaga nakita eh. Because all you want to do is to be able to help the agent and not really be like say things that everyone is saying para lang you're part of the clique or the group. For me, intention is the key there. It really drives your behavior and what during the quest or in general, diba? If you're helping a friend, you want to help a friend, talagang wholeheartedly you'll tell that person what you see and what you feel, regardless if it's going to be something that he or she would accept or not, diba? Kasi gusto mong tulungan eh. But if you're there para lang just to, suck up to the person, you'll say stuff na kahit hindi na totoo, para lang maganda yung reception doon sa sinabi.
Yes.
Yan, na-encourage rin namin yung mga trainees namin na, dispatch kami. Kung meron silang nafe-feel na parang na-irritate, kahit slight irritation or parang hindi na nila pinaniwalaan yung agent, to be 100% honest to us, yung council or yung members or yung elders nila, para ililipat yung case. Kasi nangyari na rin sa amin yun dahil parang nakulitan na siya, tapos iba talaga yung basa niya. Para lang kasi syempre importante na like what Ryan mentioned, may biases rin tayo. Tapos pag lumabas yun and feel mo na trigger yung ego mo, to parang catch it so we can do something about it as a group and someone else can handle it. Na mas baka it so happen na caught ka lang at a bad time, bad mood ka sa office, or alam mo yun, you're undergoing something na easily irritated ka rin. So it colors yung judgment mo. It needs to be passed on para kasi syempre yun yung only way to counter our own biases is to ask and rethink and to depend on others rin to help us kasi sila yung may outer perspective and who sees us from outside as well.
Thank you. Sana tumatak. Sana tumatak sa mga nakikinig. This is a question I always get. And for you guys, how did you connect with your guides? And kasi iba-iba naman yan. And how do you communicate with them? Yun lang, baka may insight kayo into that.
Nothing really special. I usually descend into my state, to my parang open or sensitive state. Tapos I just send a message lang with my spirit guide na, or I try to communicate lang. Parang ang dating parang one-way communication, pero alam ko yung presence kasi niya na parang nagsasabi na lang ako ng mga concerns and questions, then sinasabi ko na lang na parang you can answer in different ways that you can. And most of the time kasi usually if I communicate with my spirit guides, mostly kasi sa dreams ko siya pinapasagot. So usually before I sleep, when I need to ask something, I ask through tapos parang sinasabi ko na visit me in my dream, something like that.
Is there a way for you to like discern? Kasi ito nagiging problem ng mga bagong nagtatry to communicate with their guides is hindi nila ma-discern minsan if guide ba nila yun or some entity that is preying on them. So for you, when you were starting out, was there a way for you to discern okay ba to? Totoong guide ko ba to or parang trickster ito?
Kasi in my experience kasi, it was as a questor, it was part of our exercise sa training na we got to meet with our spirit guide.
Okay.
So parang doon pa lang nakilala ko na siya and I know na how to discern kung siya yun. I know his signature energy, something like that. So parang from the start kasi parang nakilala ko na siya. And parang ganon, yung in a way na parang ganon yung explanation ko na parang kilala ko na kasi siya. So I know kung sining kumakausap sa akin, kung tama ba, or may nangloloko sa akin. Kung legit ba yung pagko-communicate. So I think dun pa lang kasi parang one way na other people can try to do para matulungan sila sa discernment nila if kung spirit guide o hindi is to start trying there are a lot of exercise kasi resource out there na on how to meet your spirit guides and how to discern it. So I guess they can try different methods and also and pwede rin silang pumunta sa Psychism 101 namin.
Okay, yun nga inisip ko eh. Sa workshop naman tinuturo yun, I guess.
No, it's not.
No, okay. Masyadong mas advanced na yun, no?
Di naman. It's part of kasi part of yung shamanism na ginagawa namin.
It's another level.
Yung 101 is more about yung psychic senses para lang magamit siya on a daily, day-to-day nga. Pero
So yun, so sa mga nakikinig, pwede nyo muna skip yun. Hindi, kasi ako personally, for me, parang learn to deal with yourself first.
That's good.
Kasi parang, I guess, maraming tao na they feel so helpless na parang pag nalaman nilang may guide sila, iaasa na nila, tulungan mo na ako, tulungan, di ba? Pero you have to deal with it yourself first. And then eventually you will work with your guide to help you with other stuff. Pero for me, yun nga, ayusin mo, sama sabihin, ayusin mo muna sarili mo, di ba? Understand what you are experiencing. So, ako yun lang. So, hindi ko alam if you have that same point of view.
Pero may may sense rin unique kasi pag nandun ka rin sa point of you feel helpless and you feel someone or something is the only thing na can pull you out of yung muck. Ang tendency rin, any messages na masagap mo, kahit na parang trickster message siya, easily you latch onto it without discernment. So kung walang discernment, kasi usually pag spirit guide or something like a guardian angel, it has you have to sit still kasi you will feel yung I don't know if it's an unexplainable feeling, pero I feel like everyone has that feeling na if something miraculous or you just feel divine love na sit still. Tapos yung energy is a loving and benevolent one. I would always say na it comes from a place na to provide you guidance and light. Kasi kaya tama sabi mo kasi at least meron ka pang point na wait lang, upo muna ako, isi-sense ko talaga to. Kasi kahit papaano yung intuition natin, our very own intuition can pick up kung someone or something is trying to trick us but you have to come to a place na medyo na-regulate mo yung sarili mo na hindi ka ganon ka desperate for guidance. Pero syempre, you will come to that point, but at the same time, before you throw everything, alam mo yun na ito talaga yung spirit guide ko, kailangan upuan mo siya. Tsaka ang ginagawa ko rin is ask for evidence na nature-based. Kasi, I don't know why, but it always works for me na anything na, I feel like I see nature as pure eh. Wala naman yung, di ba, wala yung any biases or any evil intention towards us, the people and other beings and species. So, lagi ko nakikita pag lugame ako or magkakasakit ako, there would always be a sunbird. Di ba parang napaka-rare ng sunbird sa urban setting? Pero all the time yung magtatap sa window ng room namin. So alam ko na parang I need to take care of myself and it's I see that kaya parang ginagamit ko yung environmental signals. It could be in the form of a feather, a flower na super rare. Doon ko rin na aside from communicating through like what Juno mentioned through dreams kasi madalas ko sila lang nakakausap rin sa dreams pag nag-incubate ako ng towards a problem or something like that.
Talaga? So through dreams, ginagawa mo rin for two-way communication, parang ganun.
Sa dreams, kasi mas ano ka nun mas open, hindi ka na bothered masyado with material concerns and yung problem of day-to-day struggles. So mas free yung psyche mo, mas open siya, and mas meet mo sila doon, and mas nakakausap ka nila ng mabuti. Yun yung sa experience ko. So I tap them through dreams rin, and when I'm in a place of meditation na wala lang sa alpha lang yung utak ko, mas and I always do it outside. I feel the nature really helps.
In nature.
Yeah.
For you, Ryan, meron ka bang ano?
Yeah, so same with Juno. So I've met my guides during the training, mga 2005, ganun na. Matagal na. Merong signal talaga na I know, I've asked them to give me a signal, a physical signal talaga, that I know if I ask them to communicate, or parang parang clue. For example, I'm at a time where I need to make a decision. And I just, in my mind, I just say, where should I go? Is this the right thing? Right direction I'm going? Ano yan my physical manifestation talaga, parang nagtatingle talaga yung left side ko, from the top of my head, side of my head, to my left shoulder. Ano yan? No miss yan. Para siyang signal from my guides talaga that parang yes, or okay, or something like that, parang affirmation. Yeah, there are times talaga that I agree with Peachie. There are very few times, unfortunately, where I sit quietly in a circle to be able to communicate with the guides. Meron kasing parang may I don't want to call it a ritual, but there's this mental exercise of going into your secret space. Parang that's where you usually meet your spirit guide. So may mga steps and may mga exercises talaga that were taught to us that helps us access talaga yung spirit guides natin. Pero ano naman yan other way is to be open about your surroundings, kasi it's been documented talaga. The spirit guides are there kasi talaga to help you and they, even if you haven't established anything to communicate with them directly, they try to do it in around you Parang may mga clues yan para silang mga nagdo-drop ng mga things that if you're really open or on the lookout for these, may gets mo kagad yun You'll feel it in your gut. Okay, my guides are telling me this is the way that I should go, or something like that. Pero yung practice talaga.
Oo. Yun nga, kailangan napapractice. May isang nag-share nito I think sa Discord, na sinabi niya, when trying to find out about your guides, it is best that it is a personal journey for you to do it. Meaning, kasi may iba parang alam nila, nakakakita tong taong to. May guide ba ako? May mga ganun nakakaramdam ka. May guide ba? Nakakausap mo, may guide ba ako? Na parang, ang point ng isa, kailangan ikaw ang makadiscover niya.
Yeah.
Parang, so hindi ko alam if you agree with that. Ako, I believe that. Kasi you won't create that connection if iaasa mo sa ibang tao yung discovery. Well, ako yun. That's just me. So, hindi ko alam.
No, that's true. At saka diba?
Personal Very personal ang spirit guide to the one na binabantayan rin nila. And they can come in the form of, hindi lang form. It's more of your spirit guide mo can be your ancestor or relative.
Yes.
Yeah.
They chose to guide you still.
At saka, I don't think they need to ask the question anymore, because I believe that everyone has a spirit guide.
Yes, ako rin.
Or 20. So, I don't know. You're right. It's not if you have one. It's more about I'd like to be able to establish a relationship with them. Diba?
May question lang si Jay. I'm not sure if ma-answer nyo. Sabi niya, ano po kaya easiest way to know the names of your guides?
Ako, parang ginagawa ko, Jay, I simply ask, like, if I may I know your name? Ganun ko paminsan, or parang pwede po bang makilala kung sino sila. Sometimes kasi parang nagkataon lang na naging guide mo sa isang place, lalo na pag nawala ka. Hindi siya permanent guide per se. Tapos ayaw rin magbigay ng name. But ang ano ko siguro doon advice, kung meron kang tinatanong, may na-encounter kang being or presence, and if you're asking if it's a guide na establish mo, and you ask the name, either you ask it through the dream, kung dreamer ka or lucid dreamer, or right off the bat doon. And then usually yung first na maririnig mo or makikita mo even in your mind's eye, that's usually the name that they give. Very, very, very clear. Yung meron akong kaibigang nakilala ko, parang the name came noong sabi niya the first, meron siyang name na nasa utak pero hindi siya sure. Pero tama yung sinabi niya kasi it would be the first building that I see. Tapos yung building na yun, hindi lang siya yung parang building na may acronym, di ba?
Oo.
Building,
Pangalan siya talaga.
So, yun yung that could be para lang pang seal the deal na gusto mo maging sigurista. Pwede ring like a signal from outside or a symbol, or na para lang kung totoo talaga yung nasa utak ko na name na pumasok sa akin.
Juno, you were going to say something about knowing the name of your spirit guide?
I was just about to say na, as simply as asking lang.
Okay. Oo.
Tapos, yun nga, then you ask for confirmation, or you look around you, look through nature for confirmation.
For pag inisip nyo lang for skeptics, for people who do not believe in this, yan palang papagtawanan nila eh. Di ba? Na parang, may nakita ka lang, yun na yung pangalan ng guide. Di ba? Parang, nagigets ko pero the more I delve into the paranormal world and see the connections, mas nakikita ko yung synchronicities, and sasabihin na, hindi, you're just seeing patterns. Humans are used to seeing patterns. Hindi, meron talaga minsan ng mga signal na may message talaga siya na hindi mo siya made-deny. Parang, di ba? So, ako yun lang. Sana maging mas open-minded yung mga skeptic pag narinig nila yung mga ganitong bagay.
Kasi talaga finding way to explain what's physically in front of them. And it causes fear tsaka uncertainty, and ayaw natin yung tao, di ba? Parang we don't like it. We don't like being in the dark or being in a point of or place of uncertainty. So,
Palagi nga yun. Ito actually question to the three of you, and it is a question that I've asked myself, although I do not, I have no intention. Don't take offense. I hope you don't take offense. I have no intention of, I don't think I can do what you guys do. Na parang you have to be called for me personally to do what you do. Na yun nga, you are doing, you're helping people without asking for financial gain, di ba? Wala kayong nakukuha dyan. Well, you're learning, you are growing, you are opening up yourself spiritually, and yun nga, may personal intentions kayo and reasons kayo for doing it. Pero I believe nag-mention sa akin ito before I'm not sure if kilala nyo si Sir Gerard. He was a questor for a while, I believe. And he worked with Sir Tony nga. And isa sa mga nakwento ni Sir Tony, sinabi ni Sir Tony sa kanya na nakwento niya sa akin, is that, hindi ko alam kung sa kanya sinabi, I'm guessing sa Questors sinabi to, na kailangan merong pa rin kayong job. Meron kayong trabaho na may professional job kayo aside from questing. Kasi parang it will, aside from practicality's sake, na it will help fund your life. Pero hindi lang kayo nakafocus sa spirituality, parang ganun. So parang meron joint tandem yung professional job nyo and yung questing na ginagawa nyo. Parang nafa-fund yung good deed nyo. Yun ba yung tinuro rin sa inyo ni Sir Tony?
Yeah, it's part of our handbook, our bylaws that you have to be. You have to have a means of not earning, but you have you're not really working. But if you're rich, okay lang. But I mean, the quest itself, or what we do, is not the primary thing we do. Ano siya, it's on top of our regular lives. So even in the LightSeers, I'm writing up the bylaws. Then it's important kasi ano yun eh. Yeah, exactly. How do you can't go around talaga without money. It's a fact of life. Or a means of of earning, or means of basta may money ka, parang ganun.
Oo.
Kasi part rin nun, yung mga ibang kailangan namin puntahan na far-flung places, or yung tinutulungan mo, alam mong ano rin sila, yung C to D
Yes, oo.
kailangan meron ka ring pera para rin maidala mo sarili mo sa place nila, tsaka
Yes.
if ever na, kasi paminsan maabot hanggang 5 a.m. paminsan, yung mga
Yes.
quest 3 a.m. na meron ka rin pambili ng food mo and all those. Tsaka para hindi mo rin sila ibabother na, especially kung mahirap sila, hindi sila mag-prepare pa ng food for you kasi parang dumating na kami rin sa point kasi may mga trainees rin kami na syempre kup-kup rin namin. So pag alam namin, Joel, sasabihin lang namin rin kung okay lang yung transpo, and if ever food, yun na lang i-provide. Kasi iba rin, gusto ipilit nila yung payment. So para kami,
Yes.
kahit ano na lang, talagang gusto nila. So
Okay,
namin, transpo and food okay na. And then, if ever talagang mapilit sila, sinasabi rin namin, donate it na lang to a foundation na gusto nyo, or if gusto talaga nila yung foundation namin, binibigyan namin sila ng receipt. Kasi nangyari na in the past na ito, dinonate namin itong 3 organizations, and we're thankful na you provided us the opportunity na Saka syempre pag mga probinsya, kasi kailangan ng eroplano and yun talaga pinapasagot na namin na parang
Okay.
anong payment.
Buti naman.
Oo. Yung na lang, lodging tsaka yung airfare or yung gas.
Yes, oo.
Okay.
Yeah, we have requesting for a quest in the Iloilo area. What I did na lang was to offer to get in contact with a questor that lives there, a former questor
Okay.
was close to me na who's already residing in the Visayas Mindanao area. So pwede naman yun eh. We have the questors, marami kami dati. So pag parang kung may mag-request na sa Australia, meron rin tayo pwede i-refer.
Meron rin.
Oh, so it doesn't really have to be us naman. Kasi naman eh, even the older questors, they're even more, what do you call this? I would say that they're even more experienced and better than us. They could definitely help if they're still willing to quest.
Ilo case ay yung podcast.
Oo.
Gusto ko yun eh. Ang ganda.
Narinig niyo yung Iloilo na kwento?
Oo. Actually, ganda yun.
Grabe yun. Hindi ko alam kung aswang. Meron na ba kayo, dyan tayo mapunta, meron na ba kayo naging case na parang aswang?
Aswang mismo. Ako personally, wala. Wala pa.
Pero hindi ko na maalala kasi tagal nito eh. Pero alam ko,
Okay.
sabi ko, first ko yun aswang case.
Pero may mga quest kami na merong aswang na nandun, pero hindi sila yung mismong focus ng case.
Yeah. Hindi sila yung focus. Parang nagparamdam sila sa area.
Like sa isang school sa may Katipunan area, merong aswang doon, pero hindi siya yung focus ng quest itself.
Anong school yan? Kakat natin.
Hindi ko na pwede sabihin, pero yeah, Katipunan area. Marami mga schools na rin.
Okay. Pero okay, ito question dyan. Paano nyo madidiscern na aswang yung nagparamdam? May energy signature, merong sound, merong smell, ano yung gauge
Ako,
nyo?
I'll admit, hindi ako masyadong, I can't say, very, very few yung experience ko dyan. Mas yung older questers ang nakakaalam sa akin for me.
Rin, yung parang nasabi rin sa akin. Although yun sa experience na one case ko ngayon, yun eh. Parang, hindi lang sa smell, but intense psychical messaging. So kumbaga, they really telepathically made themselves heard. Depende. Parang alam mo na nandyan sila, alam mo na parating, kasi kaya rin nilang i-project yung message na parating kami.
Oo.
I don't know if that
Kami.
makes sense.
Kami
Oo, parang,
Kami meaning more than one.
oo, kasi sometimes more than one, pero, or ako. Yun yung isang signature na pansin pong different from different entities or spirits. They have and even it becomes physical too. Like
Yes.
parang hindi lang tumataas lahat but it's electrical if that's the proper word to describe it. Yeah.
Personal theory, if you're willing to share. Anong theory mo sa aswang, Peachie? Ano sila?
Alam mo, hirap niyan, pero
Oo.
since theory lang naman, parang feeling ko like based rin sa mga historical reads, right? Even in, especially in South America or even the Egyptian times, yung mga shapeshifters, I feel na, or I recall yung practice or rin sa South America na nagwalismo or nagwalism is when the shamans also learn how to alter, hindi lang siya
Yes.
glamour but know how to alter yung molecules nila,
Physical.
even physical attributes. So I'm thinking baka merong mga family rin na napapasa yung knowledge and capacity. Kasi if we're also thinking about realm of possibilities, kung wari lang na learn mo how to alter yourself in a physical manner or in quantum speaking, maybe it's embedded in the DNA and it can be passed on. But I'm feeling it's a mix of that and also yung rituals or encounters nila with other beings na pwedeng minag-mix rin. Kasi parang different species rin sila Parang tignan mo di ba? So, baka yun yung ko lang, 2 cents ko on it.
Yes. Oo. Magandang insight. Bago na naman yan na mai-add sa mga aswang enthusiasts kasi mahilig silang mag-analyze rin kung ano kaya. Kasi may iba-iba talagang belief on. I mean, may na-interview na sa YouTube na aswang yung tina-explain niya. Pero again, from people who have experienced it, who are psychic, I'm thankful na may theory ka to share. That's something different. Okay, ito ina-ask ko sa mga practitioners who have known about the craft for a long time. Ano yung ma-share niyong parang protection for people who are like me or are starting to understand that there is a world that we cannot see nga in terms of protecting yourself from the world we cannot see?
Siguro personal, they're different, diba? May mga different protection spells or methods, no? Ako, yung really quick way of doing it is I just imagine yung like actually tinuturo to sa SQ dati just visualizing yourself covered in blue light. That parang yun yung pinaka-basic na protection method namin. Usually you parang you just basically just imagine yourself enveloped in light na very very bright blue light, and imagining that nothing negative can come in, but any positive energies or intentions can still reach you through this parang shell. I also have some personal ways of protecting myself. For example, just yung tongue. You parang indicate mo lang yung tongue mo to the upper roof of your mouth. That's a quick way for me to shield myself. Kasi siya, parang they say, I've encountered this a couple of times na it's a way of parang making your aura come closer to your body, and parang mas it becomes like a very tight pero more hardened form of your aura. So para siyang really close armor. I use that for, parang emergency or really quick times. So, ganun. Pero other than that, parang yung mga long term, like I think nakwento na ni Peachie dati, yung making sure that you take a good salt bath every time you encounter negativity, that kind of keeps up your parang may resistensya ka. Keep yourself, your spiritual self healthy. So maraming ganun. Different ways, different methods. Yun lang yung mga for me personally, what comes to mind, parang the ones I use the most.
Ryan, tanong ko lang, doon sa part na when you push your tongue up to touch the roof of your mouth,
Yeah.
may visualization involved doon na parang,
Wala.
parang, wala, na parang di mo parang sinishrink mo aura mo, tapos parang may armor.
Wala na. That's why I use it. That's why I use it for, it's used for parang quick emergency kasi di ko ng visualization. Ano lang siya. Automatic na yun. Parang I've already programmed it that's what happens when I do it.
Okay.
Sa high magic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
Ano yung Peachie? Sorry.
Sabi ko may root siya sa high magic, yung sinasabi niya rutang kasi when high magicians, parang they build themselves to be good conductors, tsaka mag-wield sila ng magic nila. Parang kailangan lahat connected to the ground, and yung point of yung tongue sa roof of mouth, medyo loose pa yung connection, so kailangan i-connect nila.
Okay.
So may
Sa iyo, Peachie, ano yung...
sige. Sa akin, same rin na protection na-mention ni Price. Siguro add ko rin doon, if establish a good relationship with your guardian angel. Ako, firm believer ako. I've experienced and seen miracles by the guardian angels. And if you are in a place na hindi ka sure and you feel risky, dangerous, you can call to them. Kasi yung protection nila rin iba yung with the spirit guides. And make sure when magko-quest ka or siguro to embark somewhere na ibang place or mag-encounter ka na new people for the first time, to make sure yung hindi lang shield I feel yung resolve ng aura mo and yung spirit mo, yung diwa mo, parang solidify mo siya para hindi ka rin easily sway na influence or na-overpower ng energies ng iba. Kasi it comes with a territory. Tsaka it's a protection rin. Kasi meron iba, they don't even know that they're psychic vampires. So kung yung iba naman intentional, alam natin yun. Pero kung counter mo yung iba na hindi talaga nila alam, unintentional psychic vampires sila, you get depleted rin. It does not protect you or your core. So parang kahit nasa labas ka, imagine mo rin you're being covered in a blue light kasi that's protection. And imagine mo lang rin yung aura mo, nagsusolidify na. You also feel confident. Kasi nasa rin yun nasa feeling and believing mo rin yun So that's yung ko.
Juno, before I go to you, may question lang ko actually. Kasi natanong to I was editing an earlier episode, and natanong nung isa, since we visualize protection, kagaya niyan, you cover yourself in blue light, does that also necessarily attract? Does that make you visible to other entities na, uy, nagbo-blue light siya, lapitan nga natin. May ganung danger ba? Kasi iba parang biglang nagka-fear na, uy, paano kung gawin ko yun? Tapos makita ako ng mga entity na, I guess, harmful or whatever. Or parang, wala, dead man na lang. In terms of that.
Kasi kahit na hindi mo gawin yon, they know kung sino yung nakakakita. Parang kumbaga may beacon ka rin sa kanila. So parang might as well do yung protection na rin. Parang ganun na rin yun since they can sense. But at the same time, if they know you're around, alam rin nila na you're putting up, hindi naman a wall, but rather you're protecting yourself. Kasi meron ring iba dyan magdadalawang isip.
Yung parang, uy, may blue light na. May blue light na, hindi natin magugulo.
Oo.
Kasi
Ayaw magulo.
may mga ano rin, di ba? Yung marang anting-antings or mga crystals,
Yes,
etc. Those can, ano rin it helps.
Juno, sorry, isa yun naman, ano yung ano?
Well, yeah, yung pinaka-favorite ko rin sa actually kasi it's quick and simple is yung blue light. Kasi effective talaga siya. And most of the time, so like an example of my personal experience, yung pag nagigising ako na lang bigla sa madaling araw or like mga 3 a.m. gano'n. Tapos yung may nafe-feel na talaga ako, parang kaya nagising ako kasi may gumising. Instant blue light, tapos nagkakalma na rin naman yung energy sa paligid. Tapos lumalayo na rin na parang they get the message na parang,
Yes,
ay,
oo.
wag mo akong guluhin. Wag mo
Oo.
akong natutulog
wag na
ako.
yun. Oo.
Yeah. And what else? What I do also, I use crystals. There are crystals that corresponds to protection. Like for example, I have like a black tourmaline na parang it's parang na kontra siya sa mga negative energies rin eh. So I carry it with me sometimes when I need the protection. Na nilalagay ko sa left side ko. So kunyari, kung crystal lang siya, like on the left side of my pocket, para nasa receiving side siya ng body ko, or parang kung may bracelet, but mas maganda kung bracelet sa left arm.
Okay.
Kasi you're receiving the protection.
Oo. Pwede
Yeah.
ko ngayon.
Yeah, and there are other crystals rin naman that corresponds to other types of protection. One thing I also do, it looks childish, pero sometimes when I feel na parang may intrusive energy or something like that, I cross my fingers. It's like parang siyang parang child's tale, pero nag-work siya for me na paminsan parang kung paminsan na parang may energy vampire na pag kinocross ko or pag nagko-cross legs ako, paminsan na naboblock niya, hindi niya na ma-affect yung energies ko. So yeah, yun yung isa sa mga favorite ko, yung parang quick and yung parang on the spot na protection.
Parang naka-program na rin siya sa'yo na parang jug.
Yeah, parang rin siyang blue light na parang instant may lang lalabas siya pa, parang may shield ako bigla.
As we close, thank you. I mean, sorry tumagal tayo, Peachie, Ryan, Juno, pero thank you. Thank you for taking the time and yun nga, answering all my questions. Kahit iname yung iba, pero thank you for answering them. Baka, again, as we close, baka you can tell the listeners about LightSeers and yun nga, your upcoming workshop and ano yung kasama sa workshop. I don't think nasabi niyo pa yun earlier.
Okay. Early next year.
Okay.
We'll do the 101. It's the public workshop we offer. What we cover there is yung topic is mostly around how you could discover your psychic senses and use it to enhance your creativity, help you on your day-to-day.
Brainwaves.
Yeah, we also talk about brainwaves and more of demystifying talaga the supernatural, making people understand how it really is part of who we are. Everyone has it, and everyone can enhance it to their own benefit. That's the focus of that workshop. Tapos we are constantly inviting people who are interested to pursue yung goals ng LightSeers to become trainees and members. When you become a trainee and a member, we'll teach you a little bit more about other topics like magic, at saka other ways of protection, lots of other stuff that will help or equip you to help other people then. So that's the membership is always it's open. Anyone who wants to reach out to us can reach out to us through our Facebook page or through our website, lightseers.com. And yeah, everyone's welcome to serve and help.
Sa email, pwede rin, meron bang LightSeers na email or through the website na lang?
We do have it. It's questqueries@gmail.com. But yeah, all the website or the Facebook page is also fine because we monitor that consistently.
Thank you again. Thank you for taking the time and yun nga, clarifying. Again, always naman when I talk to people, especially people who practice spirituality, marami akong tutunan na naman ngayon. Naka-notes. Lahat naka-notes na. Pero thank you. Thank you again and good night. Thank you.
Good
Thanks for
job.
having us.
Thank you so much.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. A big thank you again to Peachie, Ryan, and Juno for sharing their experiences and stories. Sabi ko nga sa kanila habang ini-edit ko, ang dami ko na naman napipick up sa info na shinare nila. So sa listeners dyan, alam na, pwede niyong balik-balikan yung episode at ulit-ulitin. Thank you also to Henson who reached out and coordinated this interview. If you have concerns with the paranormal that you feel you need help with, you can reach out to the LightSeers. You can email them at questqueries@gmail.com or message them on Facebook, LightSeers. So I'll put the links to those in the show notes. Na-mention ko rin pala sa start ng episode na may mahabang episode si Peachie sa Walang Kwentang Podcast at marami siyang nakwento doon about herself and her experience. So baka gusto nyo rin pakinggan yun. Pwedeng partner episode. Pakinggan nyo muna yun kasi mas maraming kwento si Peachie doon. Mystival will be on Feb 24 and 25, 10:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at Bahay, Kalinaw, UP Diliman, Quezon City. Specific to LightSeers, on both days they'll be doing tarot reading and chakra diagnosing and healing. And they'll have a booth on both days. They'll also have a free mini Psychism 101 workshop on Saturday, Feb 24, 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. So that's on a Saturday. For more details on Mystival, you can visit the official pages on Facebook and IG at mystival.ph. If you're watching the YouTube, it'll be up on the screen. Sana, gaya ko, marami na naman kayo natutunan sa mga guests at naisip ko nga kung ito ang unang episode na napakinggan nyo, baka gusto nyo mag-start sa episode 1 para ma-discover nyo rin kung paano ba tayo umabot dito sa mga katanungan na to. Pwedeng mag-subscribe sa Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter X at Trick Trucks. Merong new episodes every Tuesday 7 p.m. on Spotify at Thursdays 1:37 p.m. on YouTube. Hindi sila ang una kong nakausap na galing sa SpiritQuestors. Ilalagay ko ang link sa show notes kung sino yung mga naging past guest na Questors rin dati. Hopefully, in time, if open pa si Sir Tony dito, sana makausap rin natin siya. So, syempre, nasa wishlist natin yan. If meron ka ring stories na kagaya ng mga narinig mo tonight and gusto mo ikwento, pwede mo yung email sa paranormalsph@gmail.com. Pwede mo rin yan kwento via chat sa ating Discord server. Para mag-join sa server, click nyo lang ang invite link sa show notes. Of course, before we end this episode, let's go over some comments from episode 150. Nag-skip tayo. Episode 150, The SpiritQuestor. Para naman relevant sa episode na to. Sabi ni Pedring, ano kaya ang reaction ng mga elemental sa mga pangontra? Lumalayo kaya sila o umiilag? Haha, pa-wash out direct. Idol po kita. Isang malaking wash out! Wash out kay Pedring. Pedring, ikaw ba yung kaibigan natin si Me7 sa Discord? Kaboses mo eh. I mean, sa pagchat mo. Naging robot ka na daw eh, sabi nila, kaya baka kaya absent ka. Pero salamat sa pag-comment, Pedring, kung sino ka man. Sa totoo lang, curious rin ako sa tanong mo. Sa tingin ko, oo, lumalayo sila o umiilag. Kasi ayaw rin naman nila siguro ng gulo. Unless, triggered sila at naghahanap sila ng away. Hindi ko na alam. Si Roel naman, sabi niya, can someone explain to me the soul contract that the guest mentioned here? Again, referring to episode 150, The SpiritQuestor with Miss Chiki. Hi, Roel. I'm not the correct person to answer this question, but I will answer you with what I understand about soul contracts. This is from the people I've talked to and other podcasts I've listened to. If you talk to astrologists, one of their observations is that we are on a predestined path in life. As if this life we have has been plotted from the date of our birth. And of course, it's plotted to the date of our death. On the other side, from people who have had communication with spirits, there is some information that there are people who choose to reincarnate. They choose what life to live next. And with that information, I guess we can deduce that souls kind of make a soul contract to live the life they currently live. So you kind of chose to do what you are doing now. They have agreed to experience what they are bound to encounter. I guess to learn, to grow, or whatever it is the source intends us to do. So when it is said that we have soul contracts, I understand it as our agreed, predestined path in this life. Again, this is just my understanding of what a soul contract is. If others out there have a deeper or more detailed explanation for Ruel, feel free to leave it in the comments. Si JM Pogi, sabi naman, Pogi ka ba talaga, JM? Sabi naman, kasi may kilala ko nagtatanong palagi sa akin eh. Iiwan natin sa pangalang Liz. Sabi naman, napakagandang episode nito. Super dami natutunan. I have a friend po na healer din, Sir Nick. At she is gifted at masasabi ko na malakas siya. If you want, I can ask him to be your guest. Sige, JM Pogs, thank you for reaching out. If game yung friend mo na healer and gusto niyong magkwento ng kanyang experiences and story nga, email niya lang ako sa paranormalsph@gmail.com. Si Headless Horseman naman sabi, naalala ko yung previous episode na na-feel ng isang empathic emotions ng lechon. Ano kaya ang masasabi ni Miss Chicky tungkol doon? Headless, oo nga, naalala ko yung episode na yun. Hindi ko natanong niya kay Miss Chicky. Hindi ko alam if mapapakinggan to ni Miss Chicky, pero Miss Chicky, anong feelings mo doon sa mga nakaka-feel ng mga kinakatay na lechon? Tignan natin. Baka iba dyan, meron masabi rin. Si Emanzo naman, sabi, pwede po ba ako magpa-reading kay Miss Chicky? Hi Emanzo, check mo yung show notes na episode ni Miss Chicky. Andun yung links kung paano mo siya makontak. Si BCV naman, very nice episode, engaging, makes me want to ask more. What are the rules of coexistence with spirits? Like be respectful of trees or place where they might inhabit? Why do they linger? Hi BCV, thanks for the episode review and of course for the question. Actually magandang matanong yan to people who have had interactions with nature spirits or spirits who linger in a certain location. Are there certain rules of coexistence we should abide by? At dahil di ko natanong yan, I will give you my 1 cent. I think general rule of coexistence, like you mentioned, is respect. If you collect most of what has been said by past guests, I believe that is rule number 1. Are there other rules? There probably are. But for me, if I were to visit an area I am not familiar with, I usually lead with that thought. Be respectful. Respect the area and its inhabitants, both seen and unseen. As to why they linger, I guess there are a lot of reasons for this. And since your question is for spirits, that question should be best answered by the inhabitants of the spirit realm. So baka may bumulong sa'yo, BCV, mamaya kung bakit. Joke lang. Si Kalpot TV. Aba, nabuhay si Kalpot TV. Can I have a uwu? Jan Boss Nick. Joke lang, solid ng episode na to. Kalpot! Ubu ba gusto mo? Sige, malakas ka sa akin eh. From Cadena 06, thank you Sir Nick, the episode was so valuable, I had to listen twice. Ako rin. I always appreciate legit and knowledgeable guests, great takeaways for everyday life. Thanks again and more power. Hi Cadena, thank you for reaching out. Yep, ako rin minsan binabalik ako yung mga past episode, baka may na-miss out ako na info. And usually yes. Again, hindi ko sinasabi para makinig kayo ulit. Pero ako ginagawa ko siya from time to time. Pag kunyari meron ako tinatry decipher na issue from a future episode, minsan binabalik ako, saan ulit nangyari yun? Ano ulit yung nasabi doon? From John naman, I miss Ate Chiki. I have met her once a long time ago. Tower of Light has lots of benefits. If memory serves me right, it was around 24 benefits. Fallen Angel is one of a unique case. Hi John, you can reconnect with Miss Chiki sa FB niya. Pero very interesting nga yung Tower of Light. Maganda rin siguro mag-deep dive doon. Di ko rin natanong sa LightSeers yun. Baka they can talk about it. Baka they've posted about it sa Facebook nila. I'm not sure. I haven't scrolled that far down. Baka gusto nyo basahin yun. So, maganda malaman nga ano yung tamang instances para gamitin ng Tower of Light. And last na natin is from JD. About soul contract reminds me of the movie Hintayin ng Langit. Naalala ko, ex ko, Char. Very informative ep. More like this po. Hi, JD. Ano ba naging soul contract nyo ni ex? Buwan na pala ng mga puso, no? Hindi ko naisip yun. Simula na ng mga reminiscing sa mga ex. I think di naman lahat nagka-soul contract sa ex nila. Di ba? Kaya kayo nag-ex eh. Peace tayo dyan sa mga mapapait. So dyan na muna tayo magtatapos sa ating comments for episode 150. Nag-skip tayo ng episode but we'll go back to the previous comments in the future episodes. Before we say goodbye for this episode, magpapasalamat muna tayo sa ating Paranormal Patreons and Coffee Supporters. J, Z, Bea, Christine, JT, JD, K, B, Justine, Biker Mama, J, Kim, Leia, J3, May, Shibone, and Ola. A big thank you for your support. Kung gusto nyo supportahan ng podcast sa ganitong paraan, you can check out our Patreon and coffee links in the show notes. The Paranormal Podcast is engineered and produced by F90 Productions. This podcast is independently produced. And I would appreciate it if you can please rate the podcast on your preferred podcast platform. Pwedeng sa Spotify, pwedeng sa YouTube, pwedeng sa Facebook. Lahat yan ay nakakatulong para mas maraming makarinig and hopefully mas maraming mabuksan ang isip sa mundong hindi natin nakikita. Thank you for listening and please stay safe. Oh, peeps! Naisip ko lang, matagal ko nang hindi na-explain itong LL portion. I guess sa mga new listeners, yung LL portion ay para sa mga loyal listener na umabot sa ending at hindi nagsiskip after ng usual ending ng episode. Minsan may chismis, minsan may extra content, minsan may rant. And since episode 60 pa ata, meron na yata nito. 62, sorry, hindi ko maalala. So if ngayon mo lang na-discover, baka gusto mong balikan yung past episodes and hanapin mo yung parang Easter eggs na LL portion. For this share ko lang yung narinig ko na research ko about the legend of the Lady in Blue. Kasi may pinapakinggan akong podcast, si Mysterious Universe nga, baka gusto nyo pakinggan yun. And na-mention nila tungkol sa isang early case ng bilocation na nangyari sa North America noong 1600s pa. And may documentation to kasi may mga pari na nag-document ko ano nangyari. Anyway, ang weird sa case na to is noong mga 1620s yata nangyari. Merong 50 Jumano Indians ang pumunta sa present-day Albuquerque and in-approach nila yung Franciscan priest na sabi nila turuan sila about Jesus. So nagulat yung mga priest, parang tinanong nila, paano nyo nalaman about Jesus? Hindi pa kami umabot sa inyo. Parang hindi pa sila umabot sa kung saan man yung Jumano Indians na yun para i-explain yung si Christ. Ang sabi ng Jumano Indians, binisita na sila ng Lady in Blue at tinuruan sila ng gospel. So, sabi rin ng Lady in Blue, pumunta kayo sa West at hanapin niyo yung Holy Men para maturuan kayo at mabaptized kayo. So, isip ko lang hardcore to bumisita via astral, di ba? I mean, astral or it could be by location, di ko alam eh. Pero yun, so, research nyo na rin kung gusto nyo more info. Pero, yun nga, ang galing lang kasi yung Lady in Blue, nasa monastery siya sa Europe. Ang name niya, Maria de Jesus. Lady in Blue nga. At nagba-bilocate lang siya. Again, astrally, I guess. Or hindi ko alam kung anong feature ang bilocation. Hindi ko pa siya nire-research. So yun, nag-manifest siya sa harap ng mga tao doon, yung mga Humano Indians nga, and nag-preach siya. Ang interesting doon sa kwento is, nagfa-fast siya and nagpa-parang deep meditation siya para magawa niya tong bilocation na to. Sobrang kado nangayayat, sabi. Based sa account ng mga kamag-anak niya. So, meron pa nangyari about flowers na tumubo sa area kung saan siya nagpapakita. Galing lang. I mean, kung totoo siya, yung flowers, di ko na alam. Pero sinasabi nila, based sa mga kwento ng mga Humano-Indian, yun ang nangyayari. Ayun lang, naaliw lang ko sa story na yun. If you want to read more about it, search nyo na lang. I think, Legend of the Lady in Blue. Marami kayong mababasa tungkol doon. So yun muna. LL Peeps, shinare ko lang. Naaliw lang ko. Kita-kits sa next episode.